Hello traders, how are you doing? It's Footy Trader from myfootballtrading.com and we have a weekend tomorrow. It's Friday 16th of February and it's Saturday tomorrow. And that means trading football. So we have to be prepared. We need to put together our watch list. We need to know which games to trade. By the way, yesterday I've published a video explaining the Homer HT strategy. Feel free to have a look at it. And yeah, it's potentially something that I will give it a go this weekend as well, assuming that there are some opportunities, that there are games that meet all the entry criteria for Homer HT. But today we'll be doing the watch list. As you know, I've been struggling recently. At least two of the trades that I lost, I shouldn't have because of my greed and bad decisions in play. Hopefully I can improve on that. And remember, the market owes you nothing. So it's not that if I lost money on the weekend, then on the next weekend, the market will say, yeah, I've taken your money last week, so I'm giving it back to you this week. It just doesn't work like that. So it will be interesting to see how the games will go. February is far from being ideal up until this point, but anything can change for the better or for the worse. I've been 1,000 net profit on the 30 stakes some time ago. Now I'm like 886. So there is a room for improvement. Hopefully, the market will favor us this weekend. But I'll start with something slightly different, and I'll very quickly show you for the beginners maybe on why we are doing this. So I have some numbers here and some formulas. So what are we looking for? Because we don't know how an event will end. We don't know the result of a football game. We don't really know. We can't predict the future, so we don't know which team will win. But we can look for opportunities, look for cases where the market does not reflect the probability correctly. So a probability of an event occurring. Yeah. And I don't want to talk a lot more about this, but very simply, let's say we have a stake of 100. Yeah. And let's say that the market is telling us that the odds of something happening, a team A beating team B, the odds are 2. So that means we disregard commission, okay, for now, etc. But let's say it's 50%. It's 50%. So if it's 50% and it is correct, then team A will win 50% of the time. So 50 times out of 100 on average, they will win. And 50 times on average out of 100, they will lose. So if we played that game, you can see that 50 times we would win. So we would have 5,000 profit, and 50 times we would lose our 100 stake. So we would lose 5,000. So after 100 games, we would break even, right? Our result will be 0. What we are looking for is cases where, to make it simple, we will win 50% of times and we will lose 50% of the times, but the market has the probability wrong. And in this case, the market is telling us that the team has a smaller probability than 50% of winning. And in 100 games, it will very clearly show you the difference, because if we take I'll be generous. Let's take the odds 2.1. So this is the probability. It's 47.62. So let's say the market is telling us that the team is 47.62% to win. And you don't need to know what the correct probability is. All you need to know is that you know that the probability is higher. Because if it's 50%, so it's just not even 3% higher, 2.5% higher. Then after 100 games, if you win 50 and lose 50, you will be 500 plus. Yeah, and obviously the higher the odds, this will go up. So this is exactly what we were looking for. Yeah, and this is why we play this game, because, you know, the expectation is that this mathematical edge on a relatively big sample will pay out, assuming I don't make trading mistakes. And of course, if we win 50% of times and lose 50% of times, but the odds that the market was saying was 51, let's say 28, then we will have a negative number. Obviously, it's not the game we want to play. Unless you want to lay at 195, then that's a different story. Not back. That would work. Okay, hope that makes sense. This is just the reasoning behind what we are doing very quickly. And now let's go to what's most interesting, and that's my spreadsheet. Now, that spreadsheet is not that interesting in itself. What is interesting are the games, the pairs, the colors, and the odds, obviously. Okay, so let's start, and here are the odds for the Premier League. Let's do it quickly. West Ham, Brighton, we will have the same colors, so we can do some comparison here. Everton, Crystal Palace, we can see if the odds are relatively even. Yeah, let's see. Brentford, Liverpool, that one is easy. 5.17 for Brentford, 1.6 for Liverpool. Liverpool number one for me, as is Arsenal. I am expecting Arsenal away to be lower than 1.6 against Burnley, and of course they are. 10.58 for Burnley and 1.3 for Arsenal. So I think we are leaving both of these games alone. I think that makes sense here. Now Everton, Crystal Palace. This is the game that will be played on the 19th, so Monday only. And we have a huge difference here. We have 169 for Everton and 525 for Crystal Palace. Is Everton 3 times better than Crystal Palace? Everton, they had those 10 points deducted. They are 18th in the table in the relegation zone. If we add those 10 points, they will be 12th. Crystal Palace is 15th. The thing is, however, that Everton they're really struggling. No wins in life in 5 games. Crystal Palace won 2. Do I want to get involved? Again, this is for me a red area. Not that the red that I'm not gonna touch, but yeah, I mean, it's category 6 is red. So how to say this? Both teams have a negative goal difference. Both teams are not performing that well. If you like, you may want to consider laying Everton, but I'm not gonna do that in this case. Fulham, Aston Villa. I'm expecting Aston Villa to be the favorites. Which they are. Not that significant favorites. It's not that strong favorites as one would expect. 2.3, but I think it's justified because we know how Aston Villa performs away, right? But having said that, I'm looking at the chart, the table at the moment. They are 6th in the table if you consider away games. Fulham at home, 8th in the table, also doing good. Aston Villa favorites. I think it's fair. It's a fair odds. Now Luton against Manchester United. Manchester United in this case should be above 1.3 and should be, should they be probably, even more 1.6. They are, Luton is 407, Manchester United was 1.8. I think it's generous in taking into account the fact that Manchester United, they are 5th in the table if you look at their away games, so not really that bad. Luton at home 18th. They just win, lose, right? So they lost with City 1-2. They won with Newcastle, they lost with Chelsea, they won with Brighton, and then they lost with Sheffield United. Completely unexpected team, performing unexpectedly. You know, one day you lose to Sheffield United at home and the other day you demolish Brighton. So there is that level of unexpectancy. Manchester United, 33 goals scored, 33 goals conceded, 3 wins in a row recently, 3-4 with Wolves, 3-0 with West Ham, 1-2 against Aston Villa. I don't know, really. Okay, let's look at the numbers. So Manchester United's probability of winning is 55%. And would we argue that it has to be, it is higher? I don't think so. I don't think so. It also matches what we had earlier, right? Arsenal and Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool to beat Brentford, there is a higher probability of Manchester United beating Luton. So let's move on. We'll see what the other odds are. Manchester City against Chelsea, 135, and Manchester City with Haaland, with Alvarez, and with Phil Foden recently as well. You just can't go against them, and not at home, and not when they play Chelsea. Newcastle Bournemouth, this one 186. So we can 379 for Bournemouth, which I think also is correct. So here we can ask ourselves the question, right? Because Newcastle to beat Bournemouth is 53%, Manchester United to beat Luton is 55%. I think it kind of makes sense. I'm hesitating because I'm still considering whether it's worth backing Manchester United away against Luton. But Luton now with I think these odds and this probability reflects the unexpectancy that Luton is demonstrating recently as well. So I'll leave it at that. I'll start with Tottenham against Wolves. So Tottenham, they are 156 favorites against Wolves, 525. So it is number 2 against number 5. Newcastle is number 4 against number 6. Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. If you look at the table, Tottenham at the very moment they are 4th, undefeated in last 5 games. Wolves are 11th. Makes sense. Now West Ham and Brighton against Nottingham and Sheffield United. Nottingham is a better team than Sheffield United. 21 points, Sheffield United 13, despite the fact that Sheffield United beat Luton comfortably 3-1 recently. But it will be interesting to see what the market is thinking. Will we have Brighton lower than West Ham? Because the market will agree that Sheffield United is a worse team than Nottingham. Here are the odds. Nottingham 2.42 and Sheffield United 5.01. So the market agrees, but the difference is huge. And I don't think it's justified, to be honest. Brighton 163. Okay, so it's like Tottenham against Wolves, Brighton away against Sheffield United. That I can understand. But this one, I don't think reflects the reality correctly. 242 for Nottingham Forest and 2.9 for West Ham? No. So Nottingham at home is better team than West Ham? If you look at Nottingham at home, they are 16th in the table. They lost 4 out of 5 at home. So this is the conditions we're looking at. Okay, West Ham away, far from being ideal, 8th, but still 8th place. You wouldn't say that they are the worst team. So if there aren't any injuries, and I'll check that right away. Yeah, okay, Paqueta and Antonio will be probably off for West Ham. For Nottingham Forest will miss their best goal scorer, Wood. Yeah. So yeah, for me it's definitely lay Nottingham at those odds. So it's a yes. Yeah, it's a yes. Nottingham against West Ham. Only one, but yeah. I think that's a good decision. Okay, moving on quickly now. La Liga, probably we'll see more opportunities there, hopefully, but we'll see about that. A lot of red colors facing different teams. We have Villarreal, Getafe, Valencia, Sevilla, same colors but reversed. We'll see how the odds will present themselves. Starting with Villarreal Getafe, the game that will be played today. I don't know if Villarreal is better than Getafe, but this is what the market is telling me. 199, 3.84 for Getafe. Interesting, isn't it? Now Villarreal is at the moment 13 in the table and Getafe is 10th in the table. If you look at home, Villarreal is 15th. Getafe is also 15th. Yeah, the reason being that Getafe won only one game away out of 12, and maybe this is why the market is not really favoring them. They demolished Sevilla 3-0. Recently, however, they were able to stop Atletico Madrid away. It was 3-3. They lost with Osasuna, but it was a close call, 3-2. And they stopped Betis as well. It was 1-1. Villarreal at home, they won with Celta Vigo, but it was close, 3-2. Earlier they lost with Villarreal. They lost with Real Sociedad, 3-0. They drew with Mallorca, 1-1. And they drew with Cadiz as well. So yeah, definitely something to check, right? I don't think Villarreal should be 199 in this game. Moving on, Atletico Madrid Las Palmas, that I don't think I will argue with. 147 for Atletico Madrid, 708. I don't know whether Morata will play or not. Is he injured? Is he not? Do we have any news? Yeah, Morata is off. Officially off. Morata is off officially. Gabriel Paulista is off as well. Yeah, so I don't know who will start. Griezmann and Depay. Not sure about that. But even with that, we just have to consider Atletico Madrid at home as the favorites. They are the best team at home in La Liga. 11 wins in 12 games, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. And Las Palmas, if you look at their away games, they are 9th in the table. So, I'm not going to go against Atletico Madrid in this one. Then moving on, we have Osasuna against Cadiz. Osasuna favorites. Number 6 against number 7 won't touch this game. But yeah, Osasuna are pretty strong favorites. 178.5, 28. So yeah, that's a no. Celta Vigo against Barcelona. It's 397. Barcelona 188. It's difficult to evaluate Barcelona, especially recently, right? They are surprising everyone. They had that 3-3 draw against Granada. They defeated Alaves 1-3. They defeated Osasuna 1-0, but they've also lost to Villarreal in that crazy 5-3 game. Celta Vigo struggling a lot. It's an away game, 188. I'm not gonna argue with that one. And then we have Valencia against Sevilla. Number 5 against number 6. If I was to select here, you can see that Valencia is a better team in my world at the moment than Sevilla, and the market agrees. Valencia playing at home 2.26, and Sevilla 3.34. You can compare that, right? So if we say Valencia and Getafe are equal, and Sevilla and Villarreal kind of equal, then you can't have those odds flipped like that, only because of the home away difference. So that I think, so it's not that one team is 226 and the other is 384 just because it's home and away. So that makes this selection stand. Villarreal against Getafe. Now moving on, Rayo Vallecano against Real Madrid. What can we expect here? 547. Real Madrid being 163. Pretty generous, I would say, but not that valuable of investment, I think. 163, 61% chance of beating Vallecano at home. And having said that, wait. Real Madrid is the best team. If you look at their away games, they are the best team in the league. Rayo Vallecano at home is the worst team. Almost. Almeria is worst. Vallecano at home, terrible. 1 win in 11 games. That means 163 is pretty good, I would say. Pretty good. So depending on the starting lineup as well, because there is, but no, they played Leipzig now in the Champions League, so they won't play them this week, only the week after. So I think, 163 seems like a good shot. Granada against Almeria, 2 poorly performing teams. And Granada at home being favorites, 2.14, 3.48. Definitely a no. Not gonna invest in those teams. Betis Alaves, we can compare with Mallorca Sociedad in a second. Betis Alaves 2.10, 3.69. Not bad, really. And then Mallorca against Real Sociedad. So let's pause here. So what should the odds be if Real Sociedad and Betis are equal and Mallorca and Alaves are kind of equal? Betis are playing at home, so Real Sociedad should be 2.3. Yeah, 2.4. The truth is that Mallorca is 3.34 and Real Sociedad is 2.55. Okay, which is... I guess it's fair, yeah. 2.1 at home, 2.55 away. Yeah, not something that I would necessarily argue with. Yeah, I think it's a fair price. And last but not least, Athletic Bilbao against Girona. If Girona is better, but Athletic Bilbao at home is strong on San Mamés, right? So what would we expect? We would expect the odds to be kind of even. Yeah, Girona a better team. Girona away is second in the table. The only loss was that they were demolished by Real Madrid. Athletic Bilbao at home, win after win after win. It will be an interesting call, very interesting call. Overall, of course, Atletico is fifth in the table, Girona is second. But would you say that at home Bilbao is twice as good as Girona? Because this is what the market is saying. 196, 372. We have a 1.9, almost 2 times better. Bilbao, 51% chance of winning. I'll have a look, have a closer look at that game. Girona was, and I've said that they were demolished strategically, tactically by Carlo Ancelotti in that game with Real Madrid. They couldn't do anything. They were, kicking the ball around. They just couldn't do anything. And it's not that they had a significantly worse possession, but they just had no shots on target. No shots almost whatsoever. So Real Madrid tactically outplayed Girona. Will Bilbao do the same? Bilbao very strong at home, yeah. Are they 2 times better? Not sure about that. We'll definitely add it to the watch list. We'll check it further. And having said that, we are moving to Italy very quickly. Very quickly moving on to Italy to find hopefully some good opportunities. Let's see. Torino against Lecce is today, and I have Torino as a better team, and yes, it's 184. 488, which is fair, right? 2 categories difference. Probably if it was 4th against 5th, we would have like 2.1, 1.84 against 6th category. Lecce is in my world correct. Inter Salernitana will take that off the list because it's not a lot to talk about. Number 1 against number 7. So the market is telling us that the probability of Inter beating Salernitana is almost 90%, 87%, which is correct. Napoli against Genoa, number 3 against number 5. So we have also 2 categories difference. So we kind of expect something like 184, but it doesn't work like that because Napoli is just a better team. So they, can deal with the worst teams in a better way. And this is what the market is telling us. 163 for Napoli and 5.9 for Genoa. Nope. Watch list, no. I think that's kind of okay. Verona against Juventus. Now this one is interesting because the market is telling us basically that Napoli beating Genoa at home and Juventus beating Verona away is basically the same thing. Is it? Now, is it? That's the question. Napoli 9th in the table. Genoa 12th. But then Juventus are second now, come on, and Verona is 18th. Jesus. So they've met already this season, right? Just out of curiosity, what was the result? Checking it for you guys. It was 1-0, 28th of October, Juventus at home. They won 1-0 with Verona. It's funny because they scored in 97th minute, and during the game they had 2 disallowed goals. But Verona had just 1 shot on target in the whole game. 168 for Juventus. And we had 163. So Real Madrid away against Vallecano is the same as Juventus against Verona. I don't know. Okay, I'll leave it at that for a second. Let's complete the other odds to have a full picture. Atalanta against Sassuolo, easy stuff for the market. Easy stuff. Number 3 against number 6. So 3 categories difference in 1.36. 802. Yeah. And yeah, so again, Verona is equal to Sassuolo, more or less. Atalanta is worse than Juventus. Atalanta playing at home is so better than Juventus playing away. No, I don't know. It's just... I'll investigate this one further, definitely. I'm not convinced that Juventus is 59% of beating Verona. Will Vlahovic play? Is it that Vlahovic is off? Is it the case? Do we have any team news? No, it's not that. Vlahovic, I think, is available. Yeah, the thing is that Juventus lost with Udinese at home, and maybe that's the case. But, you know, Verona is can't win in 4 games. This one needs further investigation. But I'm adding to the watch list for that reason. Lazio against Bologna, 2 evenly matched teams in my world, but Lazio playing at home, so we have 2-2, 2-3. Yeah, it's 2.33, 3.37. That's fine. Then we have Empoli against Fiorentina. This one is crazy. This one is Empoli number 6. So again, like Sassuolo, like Frosinone. And you have Atalanta beating Sassuolo 136 and Fiorentina 2.11. Isn't that generous? Now, just as a reminder, Empoli at home, 19th in the table. Yeah, 2 wins in 12 games. They were able to beat Monza 3-0. Yeah, I traded that one. Fiorentina away, number 7, but they are on a bad streak. Lost with Sassuolo, lost with Lecce, lost with Bologna. So what will the market tell us about Frosinone and AS Rome? I'm guessing Rome will be like 1.8. What's the odds? Yeah, Frosinone 3.8 and Rome 193. And Frosinone, they are 14th in the table, 23 points. Empoli 21 points. On a good streak recently too. Yeah, Fiorentina played Frosinone, and they played at home and they win 5-1. So I don't know. I mean, while this one I can understand, this one is probably worth further checking, unless there are some key players missing for Fiorentina. We'll have a look. Monza against AC Milan is next. No, Udinese against Cagliari. I'm not touching those teams. Udinese at home are the favorites. Yeah. Which is funny because the market is saying that Udinese equals Torino. Anyway. And Monza against AC Milan. So we have 451 and we have, okay, so we have 1.8. Yeah. I think these both are generous odds, really. Because either these odds are generous or Atalanta at home is crazy. 136 against Sassuolo. But, you know, playing at home, okay, I can more understand this than that. Frosinone against Rome. Frosinone at home, 10th in the table. Not that bad. Rome away, 13th. So, okay. Anyway, Fiorentina, so this is a no, this is a no. Fiorentina against Empoli, I will have a look. I will have a look at that because I'm somehow not convinced that Fiorentina will struggle so much against Empoli, even though they have been struggling recently. But on the other hand, they faced Napoli, Inter. Okay, they faced Lecce. They lost with Lecce. Well, Lecce is number 6. Okay, no. That's a no. That's a no because Fiorentina in general is underperforming, I think, and that's not a reason to invest. So I leave this one here. Juventus Verona, I think I'll give it a go. If it's 1-7, then I think I'll give it a go. If it's more, then I will definitely do. Okay, Bundesliga. I'm sorry because I know this video is long now, but we are almost there. We are almost there. We don't want to skip anything or make inaccurate decisions. Anyway, Bundesliga. Here are the odds. Well, I'm sure we'll find something here. We always do for Bundesliga. We have one game here, Köln against Bremen, and already we have the market favoring Köln. Number 6, Köln in my world. Bremen, number 3, and the market is saying that they are equal. They are equal. Why are they equal? If we look at the table, Bremen 10th. Yeah, Köln is still struggling. 16th place. Yeah. Even if you look at their home games, FC Köln is 16th still. Werder Bremen is 9th. Even, you know, they are now undefeated away in last 4 and they won last 2. They defeated Bayern München away 1-0 and also they defeated Mainz 1-0. So laying Köln makes sense. It just makes sense. Darmstadt against Stuttgart is the next one, and this one is, I think, something pretty fair. 145 for Stuttgart. It's okay. Heidenheim against Leverkusen. 837. Leverkusen, I should have said. 837. 134 for Leverkusen. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna go against Leverkusen. But we can compare with Bayern. Heidenheim is a slightly better than, I mean, they are better than Bochum. 133. And Bochum is 8.13. Funny stuff. Funny stuff. But these are category 1 teams. You need to take that into account. And I know that Bayer Leverkusen demolished Bayern München 3-0 recently. I still have both of these teams in category 1. It's different in category 1 teams. Category 1 teams, you know, they can really defeat virtually anyone. Heidenheim is a better team than Bochum. We can argue that, especially from the last game, Leverkusen is slightly better than Bayern, so let's leave it at that and not touching those odds. Hoffenheim we are expecting to be better than Union Berlin at home, and they are 2.04, which is kind of okay. And then we have Mainz against Augsburg. So again, those relegation zone teams are being favored by the market. We have Mainz significantly better than Augsburg, which I don't know how to justify really, because Mainz, again, they are 17th in the table. They won one game in 21. Can you, like, you know, digest that for a second? They won one game in 21. Yeah. Okay, so if Augsburg is not completely poor away, then I'm going to lay Mainz. They are 10th in the table, Augsburg, so they are not that poor away. Recently they drew with Bochum 1-1. They even defeated Mönchengladbach. They lost with Stuttgart, so category 2, fair. They lost with Werder Bremen, category 3, which is also fair. And they drew with Union Berlin, which is their category. Yeah, that will be a yes. Unless, again, there is something that I'm not taking into account and it is related with the team news and the starting lineup. But, you know, this is the reason we add those to the watch list to investigate further. Wolfsburg against Dortmund. Number 2, number 4, despite playing away, has to be better, and they are 3.2 for Wolfsburg and Dortmund 2.13. Yep, I'm okay with that. Leipzig against Mönchengladbach. Like Dortmund against Wolfsburg, but Leipzig playing at home. Leipzig being Leipzig, 138. They've stopped almost Real Madrid recently. Yeah, you can argue that 138 and 2.13 doesn't justify the home away difference, and I would agree. I would agree with that. And Leipzig is 5th, Borussia Dortmund is 4th, but they are really very strong teams. Wolfsburg 12th, Mönchengladbach 13th, both struggling. Yeah, I'm just having a look at Dortmund away. Dortmund away is pretty good. Wolfsburg. I'm looking at whether it's worth backing Dortmund away against Wolfsburg. 46% chance of bidding. The Dortmund won 3-1 against Bochum, 3-0 against Freiburg, but that was at home. Away, they are even better. So funny, yeah, Dortmund is better away than at home. Wolfsburg at home, they are 12th, away they are 12th. So for Wolfsburg, it doesn't make a difference whether they play at home or away. 2.13. Yeah, let's check this further. Because Leipzig Mönchengladbach at home is fair, but that should be probably around 1.8, not 2.13. Freiburg against Frankfurt. Yes, very clearly same category teams, one playing at home has that slight advantage of 2.3. We always have that 2.2, 2.3. Yeah? Here it's 2.3, which is fair, and 3.12 for Frankfurt, which is okay. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for the Bundesliga. So we have 3 of those games to check. And now Liga. So let's very quickly scan through those games. You know the story with Liga. It has to be something very clear in order to enter the market. Okay, first one, Lyon against Lille. Against Nice, that is. Nice is... I have them in the higher category, but Lyon performing very well recently. The market doesn't know what to do. They have both teams are even. Lyon playing at home. I do agree with that. Usually I wouldn't in those circumstances, but really Lyon is playing very well recently. They've defeated Montpellier, they defeated Marseille. Nice, one win in last 4. Yeah, I think this is correct. Lille against Le Havre. Obviously Lille at home and Le Havre. So number 3, number 5 is kind of okay. 6.76. Not that it makes a huge difference. Nantes against Paris Saint-Germain, 6.2 and 1.49. Yeah, well, makes perfect sense. Strasbourg against Lorient. Strasbourg at home, they are probably a little bit short, 1.71, but yeah, it's 4.93, but no. But no, it's Liga. I don't want to argue here. Monaco against Toulouse. Maybe I'll get back to it. Monaco against Toulouse. Yeah, it's 1.5. Fine, it's fair. This one is correct. Montpellier against Metz. Yeah, 178 for 76. It's funny, the market is saying that if Toulouse and Le Havre are the same, then Lille and Monaco are the same. I have Monaco slightly better. Lens 163. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong day. Jesus. Strasbourg against Lorient 171. Toulouse was 2-2. Okay, let's move on. Rennes against Clermont. We just need to have a strong favorite here. Number 4, Rennes. Yeah, they are 151 for Rennes and 635. It's not 63, 6.35. Okay. This one, excuse me. This one is, so the market is saying, yeah, you're right that Lens is a better team, but Reims is playing at home, and therefore the advantage of Lens is minimal. I agree with that reasoning, basically, especially in Liga. And this one. So we can't have Marseille being better than Brest. That we can't have, and I'm saying that before looking at the odds. Brest playing at home, they should be... Yeah. It's generous. 2.51. Jesus. So I think that's a yes. 2.51 is, I think, a... Okay, so Brest is 4th. Marseille is 8th. And Marseille didn't win any games in last 5. If we look at home, Brest at home, 1 loss in 6. Marseille away. You don't want to see Marseille away. 17th in the table, 1 win in 10. So that has to be a yes. That has to be a yes. Other than that, do we have something? Yeah, this Strasbourg against Lorient. Strasbourg 10th, Lorient 16th. It's fine. Strasbourg, no wins in last 4 games. Lorient won 2 in a row. No, I think 1 game for Liga added to the watch list. This one is sufficient. Yeah. Okay. So here it is. As always, I'm looking forward to see your views, so please feel free to share them. I hope you will For anyone who does not, I hope you subscribe to my channel. By the way, I'm really close to 1,500 subscribers, so that would be a good good milestone to meet. With that, wishing you all the best for the weekend, wishing myself all the best for the weekend. Again, I'll be doing my best to come out on top and improve, at least by a little bit, the results from last 2 weeks. So I'll leave you at that. As always, stay green, traders. Happy weekend, enjoy trading, and we'll speak again very soon. Bye-bye.